AniRecap, the anime called Vermeil in gold. The story begins with a boy named Alto. He can easily summon the sexiest succubus in the world, which is named Vermeil. There is another girl named Lilia, who is obsessed with Alto. Seeing Vermeil, such a strong rival in love, she feels so envious and offers to duel with Vermeil. Lilia says if she wins, Vermeil can only stay at home. If Lilia loses, she should follow Alto's order. Lilia shows no mercy. She summons a high-level familiar at the beginning, a wind elf. Then she teams up with her familiar to use a powerful storm spell, but Vermeil blocks her attack easily without even messing up her hair. Next, it's Vermeil's turn. As a succubus of the demons, Vermeil's attack is exciting. She brings Lilia into an extremely pleasant illusion and all the students in the school can hear continuous moaning. When Lilia sobers up, she has already lost the fight. According to the appointment, she has to obey one of Alto's orders. Alto thinks it over and proposes that Lilia and Vermeil should get along well with each other. So the two women have no choice but to shake hands peacefully. As they are shaking hands so hard, it seems that they will still be jealous of each other in the future. At night, when Vermeil and Alto go back home, Vermeil points out that Lilia likes Alto, but Alto thinks they're just pure friends. At this moment, it is time for Vermeil to recover her magic power, and the way is to either kiss or get intimate with Alto. Since Alto is still a virgin, he can't have her casually, thus he chooses to kiss Vermeil. After that, Alto goes to school with Vermeil as usual. When they just walk into the school, a familiar of a senior suddenly loses control and rushes towards Vermeil, but only to be flicked away by Vermeil's one finger. After class, two seniors come to take revenge on Alto. It turns out the familiar beaten by Vermeil belongs to the shorter senior. So he deliberately finds a stronger and taller senior to deal with Alto. They claim to be the members of the Dragon Knights. The Dragon Knights sounds terrifying, but in fact it is just a society formed by students. But Alto still deals it cautiously. He sneaks to the senior's back and uses magic crystal to trap them inside. At this moment, the taller senior summons his familiar, a flame dinosaur, and successfully gets out from the crystal. He asks Vermeil to sleep with him as an apology. Hearing this, Alto shows his anger and stands in front of Vermeil, which makes Vermeil feel so moved. Then she notices the flame dinosaur is about to attack. Vermeil directly hugs Alto and sends the magic power she absorbed before back to Alto's body, which allows Alto to release the powerful crystal magic to defeat the flame dinosaur. In the end, the two seniors have to admit defeat and apologize. When they go back home, Vermeil offers to help Alto achieve his dream. Alto then tells her his initial motivation to join the Magic Academy. In this world, there are different levels among the magicians. Students are trainee magicians, and they will be divided into 3 levels after graduation: junior, intermediate and senior. Senior magicians are extremely rare already, but above the senior level, there are super magicians. These super magicians have unique titles and will go down in history. Alto's dream is to become a super magician. Vermeil thinks then it will be inefficient for them to transfer magic by just kissing. So she takes off her clothes without hesitation and makes Alto lose his virginity. Alto comes to school the next day with sore legs and a tired look. No one knows how many times he did it with Vermeil last night. At this moment, 2 students approach. One is a nobleman, and the other is his maid. Then, the principal finds Alto, Lilia and the maid. Because they all get the best grades, the principal wants to select the student representative from them. The test is to take the fairy flower from the enchanted forest, and whoever gets it will be the student representative. The nobleman, who has poor grades, also follows his maid to the forest but gets swallowed by the chomper, so the maid has to stop to rescue him. Alto and Lilia keep looking for the fairy flower. Actually, the flower is not hard to find. However, there is a Cerberus guarding on the only way. This high-level monster is not easy to deal with. So Lilia takes out the potion of invisibility and intends to sneak by. But the potion only has effect on the body. So Lilia has to be naked to move forward. Alto wants Vermeil to help him enhance his magic power again to deal with Cerberus, but Vermeil suggests that she should take the fight. Before that, Vermeil needs Alto to transfer his magic to her efficiently. So they take off their clothes in the woods and fall into the lust. Although Cerberus cannot see Lilia, it can smell her. Luckily, Alto and Vermeil arrive in time and use spells to help her. Cerberus turns around and rushes towards Alto. At this moment, Vermeil replenishes her magic power and flies to the sky to attack it all out. Finally, she defeats Cerberus. Lilia gets the fairy flower successfully and gives it to Alto, because Cerberus is defeated by Alto's familiar. At this moment, an embarrassing thing happens. Lilia's potion of invisibility loses the effect, so her naked body is shown in front of Alto. Lilia feels so embarrassed and the fairy flower in her hand is accidentally blown away by the wind, landing in front of the maid. In the end, the lucky maid becomes the student representative. Even so, Lilia and Alto feel no regrets, because the adventure for getting the fairy flower is so interesting. The result is not the most important thing. Later, Vermeil and Alto see several dragons flying in the sky. It turns out that these are Dragon Knights, and the leader of the Dragon Knights, Chris, is a senior magician and a member of the Students' Union. In the academy, there are only 7 senior magicians, and 5 of them founded the Students' Union. Even teachers are not qualified to manage them. Alto is envious of these well-known and powerful people. Vermeil placates Alto with a gentle hug. She is so confident that she can make Alto surpass them by transferring her magic power. In the dressing room, Lilia chats with her classmates. She always thinks that Vermeil is so strange and believes that Vermeil must have a conspiracy. And Alto is being deceived due to his innocence. The classmates, however, can tell that Lilia likes Alto and is therefore jealous of Vermeil. Lilia explains that she only cares about Alto because they grew up together, but at the same time she blushes with shyness. Meanwhile, in the men's dressing room, everyone's face is red. It turns out that Vermeil is there to watch Alto changing his clothes. Alto is so embarrassed. Lilia hears about it and blames Vermeil for making trouble with Alto. But Lilia's tone is tinged with envy and she seems to want to visit the men's dressing room too. While they are chatting, the members of the students' union show up. Alto promptly pulls Vermeil to him and makes a way for them. At night when Alto is taking a shower, Vermeil suddenly appears behind him. Alto feels very shy, but Vermeil calmly tells him that if he wants to surpass those people in the students' union, she will transfer the magic power to him in the most efficient way. Meanwhile, the taller senior who lost to Alto earlier is being punished by Chris. Because as a member of the Dragon Knights, he lost to a junior. Chris is fierce despite of her delicate look. She even makes the senior lick the soles of her shoes. The taller senior can't endure the humiliation and quit the Dragon Knights after getting punched hard. Alto feels guilty for causing the taller senior to get maltreatment. He makes up his mind to challenge Chris as complacent for the senior. Alto then initiates a duel with Chris. Chris looks down on Alto and thinks she can easily win. She emits a burst of bright light and summons her familiar, a huge flying dragon. Alto also asks Vermeil for help. They transfer magic with a kiss right in front of Chris. As the battle begins, Chris shoots several fireballs. Vermeil steps in front of Alto and blocks the fireballs with her body. As the smoke from the explosion fades away, Vermeil is injured and sits down on the ground. Although Alto's crystal magic is quite powerful, it can pose no threat to Chris. Vermeil tells Alto to get ready to defeat Chris with a kill shot. Alto emits a golden light and attacks Chris with the strongest crystal magic. Even half of the battlefield is blown up. But Alto still can't defeat Chris. She rides on the flying dragon and dodges the attack. Chris flies in the sky, superciliously provoking Alto and Vermeil. She proudly says that dragons are terrifying is not because of the sharp teeth or flames, but the wings that bring them to the sky. A flying dragon is the strongest being. Alto believes that familiars deserve respect no matter they're strong or weak. Chris, on the contrary, believes that there are lowliness and nobleness among familiars. Her familiar is the noblest because power determines everything. Hearing this, Vermeil calmly says that she and Alto will work together to change Chris's foolish thinking. They release their golden magic power together once again. Chris also tries her best to launch fireballs. In the end, Alto's crystal is shattered. When Chris thinks she will win, Vermeil steps on the pieces of the crystal and jumps on the back of the dragon. Alto puts a piece of the crystal against Chris's throat. Thus they become the winner of this duel. After that, Alto becomes a famous newcomer in the school and he is popular among the girls, which upsets Lilia. And Chris is cleaning up for the Dragon Knights because she sets a rule that whoever shames the Dragon Knights should do the odd jobs. At night, Vermeil's kiss wakes Alto up. He asks Vermeil not to do that when he is sleeping because such things should happen between lovers. But Vermeil just tells him that she likes him very much. As a result, Alto stays up all night. He comes to his teacher Obsidian, who helped him get out of trouble before, to ask some questions about demons, especially that demons can be in love with humans. Obsidian did hear about that some succubi of demons will seduce human magicians, but they just want magic power. These words disappoint Alto a bit. He thinks Vermeil stays with him just because she wants magic power. When Vermeil knows Alto's thinking, she pulls him into her arms, dispelling his suspicions. Then Vermeil kisses Alto again. This time she does not suck magic power but just kisses the one she likes. Meanwhile, Obsidian takes a girl student to a deserted place. Obsidian is handsome so the student gets so attracted and confesses her love to him immediately. Obsidian seems to accept her love, but actually he wants to use her for experiments. Then, the student is found in the dormitory releasing the freezing magic out of control. As a result, she freezes herself into a block of ice. This kind of strange event has happened more than once, so the students' union attaches great importance to it. But except for showing much stronger power than usual, all victims will fall into deep sleep, and students' union cannot find the culprit for a moment. These accidents do not affect other students' lessons. The summoning class teacher assigns homework that students need to record the physical data of their familiars. For the homework, Vermeil takes off her clothes to make Alto close record her body's data for the reason of improving the accuracy. Lilia worries that Vermeil will take the chance to go further with Alto, so she uses the potion of invisibility to sneak into the boys' dormitory. In order to be totally invisible, she takes off all her clothes. As a result, Alto's hands get a close touch on her breasts when she just walks into Alto's room. Due to the potion, Alto doesn't really feel it, but Lilia gets so shy that she falls to the ground in a second. In the end, Alto faithfully records that his familiar Vermeil's favorite thing is dessert, but Vermeil secretly adds Alto's name on it. Meanwhile, in the Dragon Knight's base, the taller senior is insanely attacking Chris and Chris cannot defend against his attacks at all. The shorter senior soon turns to Alto, saying that his friend, the taller junior, gets crazy and is insanely attacking the Dragon Knights. There is something black covering on the taller senior's body, and he becomes much more powerful and crazier than ever. Even though he has beat Chris, he still keeps attacking. When Alto arrives, the taller senior starts to attack them. Vermeil quickly fights back. At this moment, a figure rushes towards the senior and uses a series of slashes to easily break the black matter on his body. Finally, she wins the duel. She turns to be the president of the students' union, Elena. Then, the taller junior falls into a coma like other victims. Alto is worried because more and more students gets insane. He even has no time to prepare for the coming junior magician's exam. At this time, Vermeil asks for a leave to have a rest at home. But Vermeil does not go home. Instead, she goes to Obsidian. She detects that Obsidian is the culprit of these cases. When he realizes that Vermeil is a demon, he sneakily injects a kind of potion that can make magic power out of control into Vermeil's body. Alto soon feels the changes of Vermeil through the mark. Actually, other powerful men in the school also sense the danger. Elena walks out to have a look, but a mysterious man summons a shikigami made by paper men to ambush her. Soon, Vermeil becomes a huge super demon, which makes Obsidian so excited. He used students for experiments before, but no one could tolerate the potency of his potions. Then, Obsidian uses magic power to create a chain and leashes Vermeil. Alto hurries to the scene and he feels distressed when he sees Vermeil becoming crazy. Obsidian provokes Alto and reveals what he did to previous victims. Alto gets furious, especially when he thinks of the gentle Vermeil being changed into such a demon. He bursts out gold magic powers around his body. Vermeil feels her master's anger through the contract and instantly destroys Obsidian's chain. Alto cannot bear to see that Vermeil gets blood on her hands because of hate, so he steps forwards to stop her. As a result, he is poked through. At this moment, Vermeil's deep mind hears Alto's calling and she comes to her senses. When Vermeil finds that she hurts Alto, she feels so painful that her size changes again. Though the size is not as huge, her appearance becomes even more terrifying. Vermeil has been depressed since the last time she went out of control. She always went to school with Alto before, but now she stays alone. Noticing Vermeil's bad mood, Lilia decides to talk with her. Though they are rivals in love, they both wish Alto to be happy. But Alto has been worried about Vermeil recently. Knowing that Vermeil feels sad about her identity as a demon, Lilia explains it is Obsidian who caused Alto to be almost dead, so she shouldn't blame herself. Whatever she is, she doesn't need to feel ashamed. It has nothing to do with the race whether someone is good or not. Instead of being annoyed at her identity, it is better to care more about Alto. After talking with Lilia, Vermeil gets happier. Back home in the evening, Vermeil and Alto spend a good time together. They kiss to express their love, not to transfer magic power. Inside a mysterious temple, the real culprits who manipulated Obsidian to do the illegal experiments are planning a new conspiracy, and they are all super magicians. In a class, the student council suddenly come to take Alto. They want to discover why Obsidian went crazy. The student council president warns Alto that he'd better not hide any secret. Alto is not going to hide anything and reveals the fact that Vermeil is a demon. Unexpectedly, the president doesn't blame Alto. Instead, she asks other members to keep Alto secret. Besides, she even invites Alto to join the student council. Alto does not refuse it and becomes the youngest member of the student council. But when he gets home, Vermeil reminds Alto to be careful of the president, who is extremely dangerous. Today is Alto's first meeting after joining the student council. Because he is unfamiliar with the venue, he accidentally walks into the locker room where the president and other female members happen to be changing their clothes. As Alto is about to be punished, the president forgives him. The meeting is about investigating the paper man that blocked the president when Obsidian went insane. After discussing, they find that there is a new form of magic on the tiny paper. The president infers the culprit is most likely a super magician. The president gets it right. Now a super magician, one of the culprits is planning to approach Alto and Vermeil. At night, Alto sees a crying girl in his dream, which seems to be the young Vermeil. Then a magician's vision asks Alto what he will choose between justice and Vermeil. Alto suddenly gets awake, and he cannot give an answer to this question for the time being. After that, Alto takes out the magic book that sealed Vermeil before and wants to learn more about Vermeil's past. This day, the students are going to have an essential exam. If they pass this exam, they can be promoted from trainee magician to junior magician. The exam is divided into many sessions. The first is to test students' control of magic power. There is a large crystal ball in the examination room, and the center of the ball is burning fire. Students are asked to inject the magic power into the crystal ball to make the flame burn more fiercely. It seems easy, but in fact it is a big challenge. Many students exhaust themselves but to make no difference on the flame. When it's Lilia's turn, she knows the trick of this test is to inject the magic power to the flame instead of the crystal ball, which really tests their ability of controlling the magic power. As a top student, Lilia fulfills the crystal ball with flames in an instant, and gets an excellent grade. Then other students finish the test gradually. Alto is the last one, and he finds the secret of the crystal ball. Actually, there is a hidden magic loop in the crystal ball. The efficiency of transferring the magic power will change as the positions where the magic power gets injected are different. The examiner thinks Alto can pass the test easily since he finds the secret. Unexpectedly, Alto chooses the most difficult position to inject. Even so, the flames become fiercer than ever, even breaking the crystal ball in the end. Alto feels so nervous that he thinks he will fail the exam for his breaking the crystal ball. But without blaming him, the examiner announces he gets the first place in this exam. The next is a written test. Candidates are not allowed to take the familiar to the examination room. So Alto has to get separated with Vermeil for the time being. Before the test begins, an evil super magician, Eyelight, kills a candidate and replaces him. Because this candidate sits beside Alto. But at first Eyelight doesn't show anything unusual, just sleeping. When he wakes up, he finishes the paper so quickly that he doesn't seem like a normal person, which attracts the teacher's attention. It is then discovered that a student was killed in the toilet. At this point, Eyelight removes his disguise and summons a stone giant to destroy the examination room. The teacher tries to stop Eyelight, but soon gets defeated by the stone giant. Just then, Vermeil rushes to protect Alto. They attack Iolite with magic together, but are all easily blocked by him. Just then, the examiner realizes Iolite is the super magician known as the god of life. But his title of super magician is stripped because he can create lives with magic, which is considered blasphemous. Meanwhile, the battle in the examination room almost comes to an end. Iolite defeats everyone including Vermeil. Seeing Vermeil being captured, Alto suddenly bursts out with great magic power out of anger, defeating the stone giant. But soon, he is defeated by the new monster summoned by Iolite. Knowing that Alto is in danger, Vermeil turns into a giant demon again, but still fails to break free from Iolite's confinement. Seeing that Alto is still unwilling to give up, Iolite intends to solve this trouble completely by killing him. At this moment, the magic book that sealed Vermeil suddenly emits light to protect Alto. It turns out that the one who sealed Vermeil was the original and the strongest goddess of magic, and she placed part of her consciousness into the book. The goddess tells Alto that Vermeil's power has not yet been fully revealed and that she is still limited by her memories. If someone can help her break through the limits, she will be able to use her full power. So Alto and the goddess go into Vermeil's memories together. Over 500 years ago in a small town, Vermeil was adopted by a kind nun and lived happily with other orphans, which was the happiest time before she met Alto. Although they were poor, no one felt life difficult. Instead, they were very happy. Knowing that Vermeil was a demon, the nun still adopted her and hid her identity. Later, the bad children of the town discovered Vermeil's horn and began to bully her. The girl who lived with Vermeil in the convent drove away these children, taking care of Vermeil like a sister. But as the news that Vermeil was a demon spread, more and more people started attacking the convent no matter how the nuns explained. After a plague, the townspeople even took Vermeil as the source of the disaster, forcing the nun to hand over Vermeil. While the nun was trying to block the townspeople, the sister told Vermeil to run first. Vermeil said goodbye to her companions, leaving the convent secretly. But when she heard that the townspeople were going to judge the nun and her companions, Vermeil ran back to the convent though she was scared. She thought her companions would be fine as long as the townspeople caught her. However, everyone was killed. Vermeil instantly went berserk because of her extreme sadness and anger, destroying the entire town with the demon power for the first time. After that, Vermeil fell into a self-reproach. In the next 200 years, Vermeil suffered numerous persecutions until she found the goddess of magic and asked for a seal. After reading Vermeil's memories, Alto does not blame her for destroying the town, but trusting and loving her, Vermeil finally stops feeling self-condemned about her power. After returning to the reality, Alto and Vermeil kiss passionately. Iolite immediately summons the knight to attack. This battle may be tougher, but since Alto has been to Vermeil's memory, they cooperate better than before. They cast crystal magic together, which could not beat the stone giant before, easily defeating the stronger knight this time. As Iolite still wants to counterattack them with more powerful magic, his companion suddenly appears, ordering him to retreat immediately. Iolite can only follow the order, leaving through the portal. When Alto just gets relieved, the goddess reappears behind him, startling him. The goddess tells Alto to take good care of Vermeil because she is a kind demon. Alto agrees without hesitation, and the goddess consciousness vanishes. In an instant, the Magic Academy returns to normal, except that the magic book no longer possesses magical power. After that, Alto starts a hard training. He is determined to become stronger to protect his love, Vermeil. Besides the training, it is also important for Alto to transmit magic with Vermeil through intimate interactions at night. Alto is very tired but happy every night. Soon after, the student council discovers that there is a group of extremely powerful enemies still plotting terrifying conspiracies secretly, which means the next battle will be very dangerous. The president asks other members to make a decision between quitting or facing the danger. All of them determinedly choose the latter, especially Alto. The greater ability he has, the greater responsibility he should shoulder. Alto must keep on fighting to protect other students and his love, Vermeil. The anime is lighthearted and humorous at the beginning, and the cute girls are very attractive. But the latter part becomes impressive and touching. What's more, Vermeil's pathetic life is really unforgettable. Her past also reminds us that prejudicing against a person simply based on her race will lead to a misjudgment most of the time. The anime ends here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any suggestions, which will be really helpful for me. See you next time.